responded to the analogy that was issued by Advocate Thabani Mpofu, where he gave an example of what ZANU PF intends to do with the constitution of Zimbabwe, with a game, a soccer game that is supposed to play for 45 minutes, saying what ZANU PF intends to do with 45 minutes. It's like someone who has played a game for 45 minutes and completed, and now they are playing the remainder 45 minutes, and whilst playing for the remainder of 45 minutes, they want to add more time because their team is losing. And we will hear the response of Temba Mliswa. Greetings and welcome to your lovely channel, the Hloniphani Global News. If you are watching us for the very first time, kindly press the subscribe button so that next time when we beam live, you become the very first one to watch us. So this is the response of Temba Mliswa to Advocate Thabani Mpofu. He says lawyer Thabani Mpofu has come up with a soccer analogy to deride the proposed constitutional amendment, Bill number 3. However, it must be acknowledged that even with the confines of a 90-minute match, provisions for injury time exist to compensate for instances where normal play is interrupted. This injury time, through an addition, is intrinsically a part of the match itself. In this context, the 90 minutes of ZANU PF's recent 4-year term have indeed been affected by a series of unavoidable disruptions, including natural calamities like COVID-19 and Cyclone Idai. Thus, it is entirely reasonable within the framework of this metaphorical game for them to petition for the inclusion of injury time, enabling the match to reach a logical conclusion. Additionally, in certain circumstances, penalties are introduced to enhance the prospect of determining a clear winner. This proposed amendment aims to facilitate such logical resolutions, striving to ensure positive outcomes for numerous initiatives and policies currently underway. What would truly sorry about that, you can go sorry about that. What would truly be alarming, something that the esteemed lawyer would need to contest, is the notion of initiating a wholly new match. ZANU PF is certainly not pursuing that course. It is important to state that ZANU PF as a party is advancing this initiative, not President Mnangagwa. It becomes a personal attack to single out individual for something which has been ratified by the party and will actually outlast him. He has even stated his own wish to step down. That's a lie, Temba Mliswa. Emerson Tambutso Mnangagwa is the father of the 2030 term extension. It was, in fact, when he was appointing the ministers after 2023 election disaster, the condition of being a minister was to be able to say the slogan that in 2030 Emerson Tambutso Mnangagwa would be there. Then this is a daylight lie. And also all this giving excuses of COVID and so forth. COVID did not affect Zimbabwe alone. COVID affected the global community, but nations were able to do elections post-COVID and some during COVID. COVID is not an excuse. Diseases will always come, more than, in fact, with much higher impact more than COVID-19, but that doesn't mean someone should use that to capitalize, to mutilate the constitution. It does not hold water. I heard Temba Mliswa saying the Minister of Information was found wanting because he did not zero into these issues. It's actually a lame and a pathetic excuse. It doesn't make sense at all. COVID-19 affected all countries. And there is, in fact, if there is anyone who capitalized over COVID-19, it is Mnangagwa eliminating military generals, and also Temba Mliswa and Owen Muda were used in the process, according to the information that is in the public domain, obviously exclusively revealed by yours truly, the late blessed Runesu Keza. So let me just read this nonsense. You know, the more I read it, but anyway, we have to cover this. We have to detail this important part of the history so that when it matters, this would be revisited. It says, he continues to say, so 2030 is not a product of Mnangagwa. And he goes on to say, it is equally imperative to delineate the official justifications, which are both clear and compelling. The amendments are designed to bolster stability and policy continuity. By extending the terms of the President and Parliament from 5 to 7 years, we allow for the fruition of a long-term national development project. There is absolutely nothing like this. ZANU PF has been given more than 40 years. What projects have they accomplished? That is the most important question. If there is anything, ZANU PF has retrogressed Zimbabwe. And Zimbabwe is an embarrassment, both at the global scale and locally. He continues to say, we as politically engaged populists often observe that electoral cycles generate a stagnation in developmental progress as focus shifts predominantly towards electoral victories. Why not consider extending the post-election period to cultivate a more conducive environment for development? Moreover, the introduction of a parliamentary process for the election of the president serves to reinforce democratic structures, ensuring greater fairness and transparency. This mechanism is not foreign to Zimbabwe. It is, in fact, in common practice in numerous nations, including South Africa. The amendments will also undoubtedly enhance institutional efficiency by reallocating voter registration responsibilities to the Registrar General and transferring electoral boundary demarcation to the Zimbabwe Electoral Delimitation Commission, separate from ZEC. Regrettably, many of us have been conditioned to oppose all endeavors emanating from ZANU PF to the extent that we resist advancements that could ultimately benefit our society. It's one of the reasons many of us don't have farms, yet the government at one point initiated a program to take back our land, the very land that they are now busy taking away also from war veterans. Today, some argue and strangely accuse beneficiaries of stealing farms. This polarization must be dismantled, allowing us to engage with issues on their individual merits rather than mere wearing ideological labels. Let me actually respond through comments by people. Someone says, yo, all that long essay and still missing your target by a mile. Someone says, injury time is not decided only by the players or officials of the teams involved. It is decided on by independent officials of the game. Someone says, sapo kupora renyu iri ndere kumombe rinonzi kipa nemukati sorry, I can't read more than that. Someone says, if it's a test, if a test is 3 hours and you as for 1 hour more, you as for 1 hour, I think you maybe was trying to say you need 1 hour more. It just means you are either a failure or you are disabled. So people actually putting Temba Mliswa in his corner. Thank you very much for watching us. If you are watching us for the very first time, please do remember to press the red or black subscribe button so that next time